So over today's call, okay, what I want to do, I want to answer the question, how do you make sure you're making the right decisions? And how do you make every single action count? Okay, how do you make sure every action counts so that you can literally fast track your goals and get and lose weight and get healthy and get fit faster than the average woman, right? Because you want to get to where you want to get as fast as possible, right? You don't want to move like a snail. You want to get there as soon as possible because you've all waited long enough, right? So to explain this, okay, I'm going to be using a concept, and this concept is really, really cool. And it's basically, have you ever asked yourself, is this the right decision? Am I making the right move? Is this going to pay off? Have you ever asked yourself those questions? In health and fitness and weight loss, and even in other life situations, right? We have these thoughts where our next steps or the future is unclear, and we don't have conviction in our actions or our decisions, right? We've all been there. We've all wondered if we made the right decision. We all wonder, is this even going to work? Like, is this worth it? Right? We've all had those thoughts. And to teach you how to decipher what's worth it and what's not, there's this principle, and it's called the 80-20 rule, okay, or Pareto's principle. Okay, there's two names for it. The most popular one is the 80-20 rule, but it came from an Italian guy named Pareto. And basically, this principle states, and this is so cool, I'll say it twice so it can really resonate. Basically, this principle states that 20% of your daily activities, 20%, equate for 80% of your total results. So only 20% of what you do every day is responsible for 80% of your results. Is this making sense? So that means if you have a to-do list of 10 things, only 2 of them are actually productive and moving you forward. You followed me? So if you took a second and you wrote down everything you did today, only 20% of it was necessary. The other 80% was fluff, according to Pareto's principle. It was fluff. It was stuff that kept us busy, right? So out of a list of 10 things, 2 of them are what's necessary to move you forward towards your weight loss and your health goals. The other 80% was the easy, boring, small, low-value stuff, right? But here's the problem, ladies. Here's the problem. That other 80%, that 8 out of 10 things, they're the easy things to do, right? They're the small things. They're the things that don't require a lot of mental effort or mental attention. They're the stuff we can just robot through, go through the motions with. They're the easiest to do, unfortunately, right? That 20%, the 2 out of 10 things, those are the big things. Those are the big things that require the most amount of energy and the most amount of attention, right? But every day we choose those 8 things instead of just those 2 things. Is this making sense? Are you guys starting to think of all the things in your head that you can slowly cross off the to-do list? That's the goal here. So the small things are distractions. They're in your way. Like I said, it's just you got to cut out the fat to get to where you want to be. Okay? So how do we do that? How do we do that? So this is where I want to get this exercise going. So just really quick, jot notes, okay? I want you guys to write down your 10 goals. Your 10 goals in life. 10 life goals, okay? They can be like, I want to lose 2 pounds this week. I want to lose 50 pounds in a year. I want to go to marriage counseling. I want to have a kid. What are the big goals in your life? 10 of them. You can write them down in the comments. You can write them down on your paper. You can text them in your phone. I want 10 goals because we're going to see how many of them are actually going to get you to where you want. So 10 big goals. I'll give you 30 seconds to finish that up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be super specific. Just general goals that have been on your mind and that you think that you're slowly working towards, or you work on every now and then, okay? So you can finish writing those. Now, ladies, of those 10 things that you just wrote down or just thought of, okay, I want you to circle the biggest one that's going to have the biggest impact and positive effect on your life. If you reach that goal today, what is the one goal in that list that's going to give you the best positive impact? So of your list of 10 goals, What is the one goal that if you reach today, it would make every other goal easy? And write it in the comments. I want to know what that goal is for you guys. So what is that one thing that domino affects everything else, okay? So let's see what we have for number 1. So let's see what you guys can come up with for number 1. So debt-free. I like it. What else do we got? That's definitely a big one. Definitely number 1. And now after you've circled number 1, I want you to think number 2. What is the second thing on your list that if you accomplished it today, it would have the biggest positive impact on your life? What's thing number 2? So write it in the comments. Let me see where we're at. So this is out of a list of 10 goals, okay? 10 life goals that you've always been on your mind and you definitely want to achieve. We just recognized the biggest one. Now what's the second one? All right. First, renos, becoming closer with my family, debt-free, and then renovations. Okay, so now you have your 2. And guess what? That's 2 out of 10. So guess what that is? That's 20%. So now you have your 20%. So the Pareto's principle, again, it says that 20% of all your activities is what's getting you 80% of your results. That 20 to 80. So you've just discovered the 20% in your life that you need to focus on. The 20% that's going to equal 80% of the outcomes in your life. Okay? So now you need to wake up every day and focus on those 2 things. Those 2 goals you've just decided. What are those 2 big goals that are going to move you forward? Okay? That are going to give you 80% of your results, right? So what are those 2 things? And the biggest thing and the biggest hindrance of what people will do to not do that, okay, is they focus on the 8 out of 10. So every other goal on your list that you didn't circle, that's on the back burner. If you spread yourself out and try to accomplish all 10 of those goals every day, you're going to accomplish none of them, right? It's not going to get anywhere. It's like you've been jumping from diet to diet for so long. It's not about making it to level 1 on 100 different things. It's making it to level 100 on one thing. I need to make it level 100 on both those goals. So every morning, ladies, you need to wake up and you need to not focus on those 8 out of your 10 goals. You need to focus on a big task for those 2 goals. So what are those 2 goals? And then you do it, okay? The first task you do in the morning should not be small and it should not be mindless, okay? And I'm challenging myself with that as well. So whereas, I would regularly wake up in the morning and I would check my emails and I would check my messages and my brain would be so focused on putting out fires that I couldn't sit back and do the boring big stuff that actually moves Fit Queen forward, right? Fit Queen is growing. And if I want it to grow faster so I can help more people, I need to do the boring stuff, right? Schedule more meetings, make more phone calls, build a follow-up email sequence. Like, these aren't sexy sounding things, but those are the big tasks. Those are my 20% that equal 80%. So I need to not wake up and do a small task. So what are those small tasks that you find yourself stuck with, that you find yourself distracting yourself with? Okay, because everybody has that one person in their family where they're like workhorses. They're like, they could work all day, every day. They're the one that does all the physical work. They're the one you'll call to put the deck up in your backyard. Maybe they were construction workers their whole life. We all know that one person that's just a hard physical laborer, right? But here's the thing. When we're talking about weight loss, when we're talking about health, and we're talking about leveling up in life, when it comes to physical work, that's actually the easy work. It's actually easy to fill your time with doing something, with fiddling. It's harder to sit down and do the mental work, right? It's much, much harder. That's why out of that list of 10 things, you focus on the 8 things, because they're the easy things. They're the little things that you can accomplish pretty quickly, right? Cleaning. That's quick. That's something physical. You're distracting your bigger purpose from. These are all things that are taking up too much of the priority list, because if you focus on those 8 out of 10 things, those 2 things are always going to be left at the bottom. And guess what happens? Do you complete your to-do list every day? Very rarely. Very rarely do we ever get to complete our to-do list, right? Don't tell me you do. No way you figured it out. No way. So no, you're not going to complete your to-do list every day, right? You may chip away at it. You may complete a component of each thing you had. But if you focus on those 8 things, the 2 things get left for last, and they require the most amount of mental energy, which you won't have at the end of the day, which you won't want to do when you completed all the tedious physical stuff. So 80% of what you did in your day today could be cut out. Can you imagine if you had 80% more time with your day? What could you accomplish? You can't even fathom it. You can't even fathom it, can you? If you had 80% more time in your day, what the hell would you do? And that's what this principle goes towards. So it's the 80-20 rule. Only 20% of what you're currently doing is having the biggest effect on your life. So you need to really ask yourself, what is that 20% that I am committing myself to? Do I want to keep having noise? Do I keep wanting to just busy myself and do work in vain? Because who can say today that you did 2 big tasks that moved your life forward? Not doing a load of laundry, not taking a kid to soccer practice. Those are all things that need to get done. But did they move your physical health forward? Did they move your mental health forward? Did you grow or elevate in any area today? What do you think? Did we move forward today? Or did we get lost in the noise of the 8 out of 10 things? Of the 80% of the distractions? That's what we need to ask ourselves. So today, okay, take a second, think of what you got done today, and I want you to, in the comments, okay, give me one thing that could have been that didn't even need to happen. One thing that could have been pushed off, one thing that could have been done quicker, one thing that wasted your time. What could have been done, or what shouldn't have been done, rather, and put that in the comments. Put that in the comments. Let's see. I got Debbie, Bev, Vithu, Cindy, Mackie. There's something in your day. You're telling me you're 100% productive today? No way. You did you scrolled on Instagram a little too much. You watched a couple too many YouTube videos. Maybe you watched 1 too many Netflix shows. We did something. Vithu, there we go. Laundry. So Arlene, the question was, what is one thing you did today that didn't need to get done? That was you tricking yourself into thinking you were productive. What was that one thing you did today that didn't need to get done, but you did it because you wanted to feel like you actually got something accomplished? Laundry, hour on the phone with a friend. Yeah, all these things. It's crazy because at the end of the day, we're tired, right? Right now, we're winding down. We don't have as much energy during the day as we did now, or we don't have as much energy now as we did during the day. So we're winding down. But what did you accomplish? Why are you so tired? When 20% of what you did is actually what moved you forward, that 80% is draining you. That 80% is draining you. And it's very hard to shift it. And the way that I look at it is, you ever, I don't know if this is you guys, but I was always a last minute student. Is anybody else a last minute student? Like you had an essay due Wednesday at midnight, you literally submitted it Wednesday at 11:59, right? So I was a last minute student. I still got A's. I was just a really good student, but I was a last minute student. And so, that essay, I had the due date for 3 months. And I could have been doing it every month or every weekend for 3 months. But instead I left it to the last minute and I stressed myself out, right? And what I learned from that was work expands to the time you give it. If you tell your teenager, if you give your teenager 3 hours to clean a room, they fuck around for 2 hours and go crazy for 1. But if you gave them 30 minutes, they get it done in 30 minutes. So the work and your tasks and your actions expand to the amount of time you give them. So how much time are you giving these 80%? How much time are you allotting for things that could be done way faster or can be delegated to somebody else? So really ask yourself, are you 100% productive with you and your tasks? Because as fit queens, you guys are high level women, right? You guys are not average women, not even just physically, but mentally you are on a new level. So you can't burden yourself with mundane tasks that anybody can do, right? You're exceptional, you're special. So you should be doing exceptional and special tasks every day to protect your space and to protect your growth and your results and your progress along your health journey. Special things, not things that every other person can be doing, right? I get women all the time coming to me and they're saying, I walk 20,000 steps every day and I never order out. Why am I not losing weight? It's because that's clearly not the 20% they should be focusing on. They focus all their energy on those two things, and which are part of their 80%, and they're getting nowhere with their big main goal. And this even extends, this is really, really cool. This even extends to your financial position in life. So listen to this. So there's quite a few studies that show the difference in mindset between financially free people and financially struggling people, okay? And people who struggle financially have a lot of little goals, and people who are financially free have one big goal, and guess what they do? They work on that one big goal every day, and it is the first task they accomplish. So whatever your one big goal is, whether it is weight loss related or not, like one of the Fit Queens said, debt, you wake up and you tackle that big thing immediately when you have the most energy, when you're not going to get distracted, when you haven't looked at your phone yet, and that will skyrocket you. That will propel you further than you ever thought you could go. Just by remembering that 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle. It's so important that you value your time. Value your time, right? I get hundreds of messages every day from people inquiring about Fit Queen, and they want to lose weight. I get hundreds of messages every day. I can't allow my attention to go on those people. I can't. I have to save my attention and my space for me so I can get my job done. For you ladies, if anybody could get a hold of me and anybody could ask me any questions, then I'd have no room for the important stuff. But for so long, I did those things. I messaged every person back. I commented on every comment I got. I returned every phone call. I text messaged everybody. Like I did all these things where people had access to me all the time. And they had too much access to me to the point where I couldn't access myself. People had too much access to me. And when I cut that off and focused on the 20% of what I needed to do to grow forward, then it was exponential progress in every area in my weight loss. When I cut everybody off, this was in when I had our gym, I would text clients. I would text them and be like, where are you? Why haven't you shown up? And I would text them and then they would call me and we'd have conversations. And my whole day was just conversations, right? And I thought I was so cool. I thought I was the best gym owner ever. Like, who else calls their clients? Well, then nobody. And they do that for a reason. They do that for a reason because it's taking too much time, too much energy, and there's no return. What is the return of investment on every action you do? Is there one? If there isn't, then why are you doing it? If there's no tangible return from the action you are doing, why waste your time? And that's when I realized I had to protect my space so that I could provide a better service. I could build out more progress. I could incorporate so many different other things in the Fit Queen service where people could actually see results and keep them. When everybody had access to me and I was texting everybody, can you guess how much progress these people were having? Can you guess? As much as me. And I wasn't having any progress because I didn't have time to spend on my progress. I was so busy trying to get them to like me and get them to come in and stay with Kingdom of Iron that I didn't grow myself. And as a result, all of my clients got stuck on my level. Isn't that crazy? They got stuck at the same weight problems I had. They got stuck with the same mindset troubles I had because I was so focused on them, I couldn't elevate myself to take all of that and give back to them. It's crazy what you can do when you protect your space. Are you on your phone too much? Do you have too many messages, too many phone calls, too many emails? Is your life noisy? Does anybody have a noisy life? Or too busy? Too many distractions? So that's the important thing to take away here from. It's really crazy to think, because the second that I cut off that access to me, guess what happened to my results? Instantly, I started seeing results. Instantly. And guess what happened to my clients the second I cut that off? They had more results in 1 month than they did in a year with us. Isn't that crazy? And especially as women, we think we have to give more to somebody else to help them. And this was just a huge wake-up call for, if I don't give to me, I have nothing to give to anybody else. I can only ever take someone to my level. And it's my mission in life to never reach a level. So I'm always growing. So then every client, every family member, every friend will always be climbing with me, which is so exciting, because every time you think you hit a level, you're like, oh, unlocked a new one. It's like a video game. You beat a boss every level and you keep going up. And it's very, very exciting. But to get there, you have to really audit your daily routine, ladies. What is the first thing you do in your morning? Is it check your phone? Whose is it? Is it press the snooze button? Right? These are tasks that are not setting your day properly. Those are the little tasks that are part of the 80% of the stuff that is only getting you 20% results. You want to switch that. You want to switch that. When you get to work, what is the first task that you do? Is it the big project or that deadline you have to do? Or is it answer emails, check your phone calls, check your phone messages? Because that's the easy stuff to do. It's the autopilot stuff you can do. Take this into every area. Same thing for meal prep, right? When you wake up, are you meal prepping? Are you packing your lunch? Or are you not? Are you leaving that to the last minute? You forget, and then you have to order something for lunch, order something out. It goes to everything. Same with workouts. Are you getting your workouts in? Are those a priority? Or are they pushed off to the side and rushed? And as a result, it's not a good workout and you're not getting your maximal results. So what is that 20% of things that are giving you 80% of results? Because you ladies are seeing results and you're going to keep seeing results. And here's the crazy thing. You've gotten to where you are because of 20% of what you're doing. You're working at 20% of your capacity. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Right now, everybody, myself included, we are working at 20% of our capacity. That's absolutely insane to me. It's like that movie, who's that movie? The Bradley Cooper with Limitless, where he takes that pill and he opens up his brain, like he opens up a side of his brain he's never used before. That's what it's like. That's what I feel like we're doing with you guys. And myself included, like we are literally leveling up and we're unlocking so that 20 can turn into 25% and the 25% turns into 30. And then all of our day are big tasks that push us forward, right? Because if you were where you are right now, same body, same mindset, same career, same income, same relationships, if it stayed the same by next year, would you be happy? If it stayed the same 5 years from now and didn't move from today, is that the best it's going to get? Would you be happy with that? No. Would you be unhappy? No. But isn't not being happy and thrilled, isn't that unhappy anyway? Like sometimes I wish I would rather be unhappy than content, than just coasting. I'd rather have those emotions than just coast. That's like going through life blindfolded, right? Nothing is perfect. Everything can be improved. So I don't want to stand still. Standing still is dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. I think we can all agree on that on this call, right? Every day, if you're not making little improvements, which you guys are, 100%. You guys are every day are making little improvements. But my point here is you guys could be making even more and you guys don't even realize it. And that's the exciting part. If we can unlock and break through that 20% barrier and start to just erase the noise, cut out the fat. And I'm so guilty of this. Like, you know, I'd rather sit down in the mornings and pick out, ooh, how do I want to design my business cards today? What color should I use for the font? Like, is that really the thing that's going to push Fit Queen forward? My business card design? First of all, are business cards even a thing still? Are they even a thing? Like, no. Like, but that is what I do. That is my habit. Like, ooh, let me design something. Let me go into my comfort zone of what's easy for me. And then I feel productive because I got something done. But in the grand scheme of things, what's the return on that one thing? Nothing. I didn't help anybody by designing a business card. Did I? Did I acquire new Fit Queens by building a business card? No, right? Did you lose an extra pound by doing the laundry? No, not unless you did burpees in between your laundry. But no, right? Are these tasks propelling you forward? That is your question. And that is what you need to start your day with. And that is what you need to keep in mind every time you're doing something. When you are physically doing something, catch yourself and say, am I just making myself busy? Am I procrastinating from doing something else that's harder? That was one of the biggest realizations I had. I was a procrastinator. I saw, you know, sometimes I did emotional eating. Sometimes I had bored eating. But a lot of the times, I would eat because I was procrastinating from doing something else. Does anybody else fall in that category? It was like, oh, I don't feel like doing that just yet, so I'm just going to eat now. And, oh, I can't do it. I'm eating, right? Ryan would come into the room, and he's like, you're not working? I'm like, oh, I'm eating. I'll start in 30 minutes. Oh, and then he comes in 30 minutes, and I started something new to eat. He's like, oh, another 30 minutes, man. I can't rush my eating. And it's just you trick yourself, right? I was a procrastinator. I didn't want to do the hard, boring, mundane stuff that challenged me up here, that I had to think to finish. We always choose the path of least resistance. We always choose what we don't have to think about, right? We do what's the easiest. We do what we're used to. We do what we know what we can get done the fastest. But that serves no purpose in your journey. It serves no purpose in your journey. You have to face those uncomfortable things head on. And when you do that, you're going to see tremendous growth and fast growth and big growth instead of slow incremental growth. It will be even bigger. It will be leaps instead of steps. And that's what I want. I'm not saying, you know, you're going to be a high functioning, you're not going to be like Jeff Bezos tomorrow and be the world's richest man. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying little incremental things of what decisions you choose to make in a day. What are those? What's the 80% of stuff that needs to be cut out? And what's the 20% that's really causing you to move forward, right? So ladies, quickly, I want you to write your takeaways. How are you going to use this tomorrow? How are you going to use the 80-20 rule? Pareto's principle. What are you going to cut out? What can you cut out? What can you work on? Or what are you going to change in your routines? This is a big one. Let's see what we got. Let's see how your minds are taking this. Let's see where we can go with it. So the 80-20 rule. So Vithu, use it to plan and cut out tasks that are important to me. Also keep a short to-do list. Yes, the longer your to-do list, the less likely you're going to get anything done. Anything, right? You know, your bathroom that you want to renovate for 5 years, that's never going to get done. It's never going to get done because it's the thing that's not important and it gets pushed to the bottom. Going to think before I do. Yes, be mindful of tasks I focus on in the day. Yes, exactly. What's propelling you forward? Right? What is propelling you forward? Biggest question. Be more efficient and effective with top goals in the morning when I get up. That's it. That's pretty much it, Cindy. That's a good one, right? That's the biggest thing you can do to implement this starting tomorrow. All right? Not tedious, simple, fast tasks. Don't crowd your brain. You guys are fit queens. You guys are warriors. You guys are not the average woman. We have to break free of these chains that society has placed on us in our mind, that we think we have to do, how we have to act, what our day has to look like. You guys are redefining your life. You're recreating your routine, right? Who's meal prepped more now than they have in their entire life? Entire life combined, right? Who's drinking less alcohol now than in their entire life? Even before you were legal, right? It's crazy, right? Like, who's exercised more efficiently and more intentionally now than ever before? This is progress. You guys are changing. You guys realize that you're building a new normal for yourself? A new normal, a new routine. So things like this are important to incorporate to make sure you cement that and you do keep moving up, right? Because comfort is the enemy of growth, right? You guys all have a comfort zone. We all know it. Comes in different shapes and sizes. Some people don't like public speaking. Some people don't like going to the gym in public, right? We all have comfort zones that we stay in, but the magic happens when you step right outside of it. Just a little step, right? What's Cindy say? I think my mind goes crazy with all the thoughts of my top goals, and I don't know where to start, so I don't start and do the small stuff. Exactly, that is it. We get overwhelmed by the big things, so then we say, oh, I'm just gonna go back to what I know how to do, right? And I used to be this way with technology. So Fit Queen is an entirely online company, right? We communicate online, everything is online. Our systems, our portal, like, it's all online. And technology used to give me so much anxiety. Like, when we first started this and we first went full out on Fit Queen and full out building an online platform, we'd have Fit Queen for over a year, but we would do like little things here and there. At the beginning of quarantine, it was so stressful. I remember we had a shitty little, I think it was a Dell computer that I was working on. And then Ryan's like, this isn't going to do. So he bought a Mac computer. And I've been an Android user my whole life, Android, Samsung, LG. And then I went to this Mac and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to use this. Oh my God, I don't know how to use this. But now I'm a whiz at it. I can go anywhere. I can do anything. It makes my work easier. It makes my life easier. It's more efficient. But at first, I was fighting it every step of the way. Like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. This is stressing me out. I had to learn how to make scheduling appointments. I had to learn I had to learn coding. Like, if you guys had to sit down and do a self-taught coding course, how freaked out would you be listening to it? You're like, why are there numbers? Like, it's crazy, right? And that freaked me out, but it was only because it was unknown. It was only because I didn't want to do it. And so in the beginning, guess what I did? So in the beginning, I was fighting it so much. There's this computer I'm on right now, this beautiful Mac, huge, bright, like, it's freaking beautiful, wireless. And you know what I did? I took the Dell computer and I plopped it right in front of the Mac. And I didn't use the Mac for like 2 weeks. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't, stress me out. And I literally used the Dell computer right in front of it because I was fighting it. And you know, the task, the 20%, like, I needed to learn how to use this new computer. That was my big goal. But it was so overwhelming. I wanted to go back to what I knew because, hey, I completed 80% of my tasks today, but nothing that moved me forward. What did I do? What did I learn? How did I progress? Nothing. I did what I did every day. I did what I already knew how to do. And doing what you already know how to do is not how you grow, right? So finally, I said, stop being a little wimp. I moved the Dell computer, and then I started to learn the Mac. And it was stressful, and it was a challenge to sit down and teach myself and use that as my big task in the morning right away. But now it's so much easier, and my life is easier because of it. And that's just one example of how you can apply this. Like, if you're afraid, if you find yourself pushing something off, that is probably, that thing probably belongs in your 20%, right? So something that you have been putting off, or you find yourself continually putting off as a habit now, that's the thing that belongs in that 20%. And that's the thing you should wake up and work on right away. Whatever that means, whether it's starting with 10 minutes, just training yourself to sit down and do that big thing, right? So Beverly says kitchen cupboards, right? So kitchen cupboards, start sanding one cupboard, right? But do it first. Stop avoiding it. It's just like when you have a bad weekend or a blowout weekend and you avoid the scale. Why? Facts are facts. You still gain some weight. So what's the scale number going to do to you? Nothing. You're still where you are because of where you are. Workouts. What do you mean, Cindy? So workout wise, same idea. Like, I mean, you just don't want to do it. You push yourself, you drag your feet. But if it's important to you, you schedule time for it. You put it like it's an appointment. You don't leave it to chance. You don't say, I'll do it when I get home. I'll do it before work. I'll do it on my lunch. I'll do it after dinner. You set a time, and no matter what, you stop what you're doing and you do it. Like literally, put it in your Google calendars. Do that. That's what I do. And I don't miss a workout because it is an appointment. I don't miss my doctor's appointments. I don't miss my dentist appointments. Put your workouts in your calendar. It's a non-negotiable, right? By you saying vaguely when you're going to do it, it's giving yourself a way out because it's negotiable, right? Because out of your whole Fit Queen experience, no one has done every single workout on time, right? You get them done. Maybe you'll do them a day late. Maybe you'll do them after you planned, right? But if you schedule it, if you put it in your 20%, you're going to get it done. And it's going to push you forwards. And you're going to get faster. And you're going to get stronger. And you're going to get leaner way faster than anybody else. And then everybody around you is going to be like, oh my God, what are you doing? What's the secret? And you're going to be like, I just cut out 80% of what I did. You can be literally like, what did you do? I did less. That's your answer. I did 80% less than you are doing right now. That's the answer, which is absolutely insane because we think to get more, you have to do more, right? But the more elevated you get, the more progressed you get, the more simple things should be. And that's what I want to do. I want to simplify your life. I want to simplify your mental space and your thought processes. So nothing crowds. Nothing can crowd you. Nothing distracts you. You know what you got to do, and you force yourself to do it. Some days you'll want to do it. Some days you won't. But don't let that 80% of noise creep in just because you can't push yourself to do the big task. Because when you do that, you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm giving myself permission to not move forward today. And that's going to get you nowhere, right? So, ladies, tomorrow it is your task. You take the 80-20 rule, okay? Look at that list you just made of the 10 goals. You now have the top 2 goals that you should be working at every day, and health should be on the top. Because if you're healthy, every other goal falls into place, 100%. So those are, you have your 2 big goals, and that's how you start your day, something towards them. Whether that means, if you work out in the evening, you schedule your workout in the morning. Focus on the things you don't want to do first, because they're usually the things that need to get done first. All right, ladies? I love you. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, just shoot us an email, comment underneath the Facebook video. And you guys are absolutely amazing. I love these calls. They're so exciting. You can't talk butterfly language with caterpillar people. And unfortunately, there's a lot of caterpillar people in the world. And unfortunately, a lot of those caterpillar people are friends and family. So it's very refreshing to be around all you lovely butterflies.